Aus dem Jahre 2016 und er ist vor allem dafür bekannt, dass er eine unglaublich aggressive Walk-on-Musik hat. Man muss sich immer vor Augen führen, der Mann will auch nur spielen. Schön, dass er hier ist, the Titan Dirk von Duijvenbode. Wir haben Besuch aus Australien. Der Mann hat zuletzt seinen ersten TV-Sieg einholen können auf der World Series. Ist inzwischen einer aus den Top 30 der Welt als Nummer 28 der Weltrangliste. Herzlich willkommen, the original K.Anderson!
Just to make me a warrior leader, trendsetter, master with an IQ only rival by you. A dreamer, a hustler, a schemer who likes to stay true. Forget everything in you, street warriors, we the truth. Listen to what we say, you won't wanna leave. You see now, this is a new day. Solid rock,
well, I think you could just about hear Dirk van Duijvenbode's entrance here at the Happy Bet German Darts Grand Prix over the size of 1 million disappointed housewives following the exits of both Steve Beaton and Andrew Gilding in quick succession here in Mannheim. As a typically understated entrance from the Titan for his match with K.Anderson, the Auckland Darts Master. Winner on the World Series down under, not in his home country of Australia, of course, in New Zealand, just over the water. The man who is beginning to live up to the high expectations he has placed upon himself. Won his first Pro Tour event just before that trip down under for the World Series. Looked a real threat last weekend. 108 average, followed by 100 average, followed by another 100 average for K.Anderson. Unfortunately for him, he ran into the world #1, Michael van Gerwen, who looked quite hungry for success in that last 16 game at the Dutch Darts Masters. MVG going on to claim the title, knocking out Anderson in the last 16. Can he book his place in round 2 here in Mannheim, or will it be the Titan that makes it through?
Throw first. Game on.
Van Duijvenbode with the darts, Paul Nicholson with me, Dan Dawson in commentary.
Well, I've just about recovered from the walk-on of Dirk van Duijvenbode. It usually takes me a little bit of a sedative afterwards. You said that, you know, we pretty much heard it. I think they heard it on the International Space Station.
100.
And it'd be enough to scare off aliens.
Well, the thing, you know it's coming, but it always surprises you a little bit.
It does. And in a weird sort of way, it's entertaining.
I like it. I like it.
I think when you hear something constantly, because we have seen a lot of Dirk this year.
Yeah.
When you hear it more, you understand the thought process behind it. It's a bit like hearing a Eurovision entrance and you think that's terrible, and then you hear it for a few weeks and you think, well, it's actually not that bad.
Bit of a grower.
Yeah. What is it about techno in the Netherlands as well? I mean,
love it.
We had a lot of techno last week in Maastricht.
Yeah. Well, Dirk van Duijvenbode, I mean, look, he's only a young man. He's 25 years old.
100.
He could be playing darts for the next 30 years. And I hope that for every single one of those years, he has exactly the same walk-on.
123 to 130.
He could win this leg, but he needs a treble. Not that one.
Kyle needs a treble, and that treble is the treble 20. perfect. Double 19. Oh, that is sensational. And that is proof of what you were saying, Dan, about his current form and his potential, which he is definitely starting to show.
Well, K.Anderson has said on a number of occasions, said it last weekend, said it in the World Series, he said it when he won that Pro Tour. He knows he's good enough to win things, but now that the doubles are going for him, that has been the thing that has changed. And you know, he's a man who hit a 9-dart on the World Championship stage. We know he's capable of special things.
140.
It's doing it, game in, leg out, game in, game out, hitting the doubles, hitting them under pressure, and just once you start doing that, it's a habit. And Dirk van Duijvenbode fires in his first maximum. But K.Anderson has fired one right back at him, because that's what K.Anderson's doing nowadays.
I've got one for you, Dan. I think Kyle may have a very exciting end of the year, and I would not write him off for the Premier League.
Well, he's 28 in the world rankings right now, so he's got some serious climbing to do if he is going to really make his case. But there aren't many people that win TV titles and know the World Series is not the same as the other ones. As Dirk van Duijvenbode has another 3 big treble visit.
Will he be back though? He might not be. Double 12. Oh, it's exemplary. It's the only word to describe it. The finishing is absolutely exemplary.
140.
I'm sure there are other words that Dirk van Duijvenbode would have volunteered for that, having just fired in a 171 to leave himself perfectly set up, and a 180 earlier in the leg.
With the Premier League thing, I think it's very, very doable, because
94.
Kyle's in form. Obviously got the Auckland Darts Masters in his back pocket. There are people who are not going to be in the Premier League next year who were in this year. So if he keeps going like this and beating the players that he's beating, then titles will come, invitations will come, and who's to say that he can't win the German World Series event?
Well, look, there's nothing to say that K.Anderson couldn't go and claim one of the majors, or at least go and make a semi-final or a final, which would certainly put him in contention. And the way that he's hitting doubles, the Grand Prix looks interesting, but double 18 is what Dirk van Duijvenbode is interested in here.
51.
And he wasn't close enough to it. This would be brutal, wouldn't it?
Going to say, if he takes that out, I think Dirk might walk off. Just say, this isn't fair, I need another dart.
Dirk requires 36.
But he's human. Dirk needs double 9.
He shot in the
Perfect.
third leg. Dirk van Duijvenbode.
Well,
Kyle,
3 consecutive 14-dart legs we've had here. And for you stats fans, 14 darters, that's around 107 average. Tidy stuff. Well, they're both averaging 105 right now. Not bad, is it? Penultimate game of the night. We've seen some excellent stuff today. The 2 standout games. Christoph Ratajski defying Robert Owen's 103 average. As that's 180 number 2 for K.Anderson. 4 already in this game. Not going to be a 5th just yet. The other game that really stood out was this afternoon, really. Darren Webster and Ryan Meikle. 101 average for Darren Webster, 97 pretty much for Ryan Meikle. It was a belter. But we could be on for something even better here if this carries on.
They're just knocking 7 bells out of each other, really. And they're both loving it.
We've seen Dirk do this before when he starts firing on the 180s. Oh, now then, this is a chance for Van Duijvenbode. The 180 to leave 84. To follow up the 14-darter with a 12.
59.
This is the ball. Well, Kyle's going to be spitting that he only scored 40 in the last visit. Now, he's got 2 shots at a double, though. Double 5.
75. Dirk requires 25.
9 for double 8. It will be. Level game. Yes, it is. This game is turning into something that Dirk van Duijvenbode can get his teeth into. The intensity that Dirk needs to play well is there. He can use it, and he'll be dangerous.
Well, sometimes you can speak about this sensibly, Paul.
90
I know that
seconds.
we've talked about sometimes players can get dragged into battles when it's scrappy and it's messy, and even if you start well, you can get dragged down. But sometimes,
41.
when you're both playing well, you can just seem to spur each other on to even greater things, can't you?
You can. You get yourself into the mentality of, I've got to hit this, because if I don't, I'm going to get walloped.
But I suppose when you're playing well, you think, I'm going to hit this as well. And it's almost like a virtuous circle where you're being put under pressure, but you're able to respond, and the other guy's doing the same. And I mean, what's it like to be involved in games like that?
Oh, it's fantastic. They're the best games to be involved in.
145.
Because when you feel like you're going to hit everything, it's like you're Moses parting the Red Sea. You just think, I will do as I please, and you will see as I see fit.
140.
It is just the best feeling in the world.
Well, right now, we may be experiencing something similar.
60.
Knocks a 60 off Dirk van Duijvenbode, leaves himself a 2-darter, but K.Anderson is going to leave himself on tops, isn't he?
140.
He is. Now then, Dirk, what have you got?
Stops. He didn't do it. I'm surprised.
60. Kyle, you require.
But he didn't rush that dart. It came out of the hand very fast. Tops for Kyle. All of a sudden, he's starting to miss a few doubles.
30.
And Dirk might
40.
smell a chance to take his momentum even further.
Well, to go into the lead, having been 2-0 down to the Auckland darts master.
30. Kyle, you require 10.
Well, we had everything being hit in the first few legs. Now it's who's going to hit it. It's going to be Kyle. And he's having a word with that board as if to say, do as you're told.
6 leg Kyle to throw first. Game on.
That was a very valuable break of throw for Kyle. And somewhat unexpected. He probably thought, after the previous visit, well, that's that leg over.
140.
Well, look, this has the ingredients to be a very exciting game because they're both scoring magnificently and they're both missing doubles. And that means not only are we seeing some high-quality stuff, but we're seeing some tense and nervy stuff at the end of legs. And that's like the recipe for perfect darts, really. Not perfect in terms of execution, just perfect as a spectator sport. Because these guys are both averaging roundabout or just over 100, and they're only hitting, what, between 1 in 4 and 1 in 3 of their doubles. There you see, well, both over 100 right now.
If they were hitting their doubles, where would those averages be?
No, it'd be stratospheric.
Be somewhere near the International Space Station where we could hear Dirk van Duijvenbode's Walk-On song from.
Possibly. And again, Dirk van Duijvenbode has put himself on 11 darts, and that first 9 average is what these guys want from themselves when they're playing at their best, and that is 180 number 3 for K.Anderson.
Well, that puts the pressure on this a little bit. It's double 18 again. Can he hit it this time? Yes, he can. And the intensity's back for Dirk. Breaks the throw all over the shop here. This is a proper tear-up.
6 legs, 2 holes, 4 breaks. 6 180s.
100.
I think Kyle may be having an effect on some of the guys he plays. It seems like people know they've got to turn up against him now, and with all due respect to Kyle, they are turning up.
Well, 28 in the world, but right now, based on the last few, 3 or 4 months, it looks like a false position, doesn't it? Because how many players in the world are playing better than K.Anderson right now?
60.
Last weekend, he averaged 108, 100 and 100, and he's been doing that sort of stuff. You're having to play phenomenally to beat K.Anderson usually. Yeah, he's had the odd-off game.
83.
But what about the fact he missed the Players' Championship finals last year and the World Championships because of administration reasons? If he'd have played in those tournaments in good form, which he was, what difference would that have made to his current ranking?
Yeah,
we'll never know.
Yeah, you don't know, do you? If he could have just carried on that form, his ranking would certainly have improved because he'd have been in both, and that's another, what, 15 grand minimum? But it could have been a lot more the way he was playing.
133.
But it's 3-3, and Dirk is giving Kyle problems.
60.
And he's not done anything wrong yet, Anderson. He really hasn't. Double 16 for a 4-3 advantage. And Dirk van Duijvenbode is in front.
Even Kyle
Great
to
hold of
throw
throw.
first. Game on.
He'll be
100.
disappointed there because that first dart was perfect. You couldn't have placed it in the board any better, K.Anderson. And he'd only come away with a ton. And Van
134.
Duijvenbode has betted it. Wow, 105 plays 101, 6 180s. Proper darts.
93.
It is one of those games where you just want to sit back and admire it.
Well,
59.
I've been petitioning for some time that once a day in any tournament you should have a big red button whereby you can hit it and automatically you go from a best of 11 game to a best of 21. Just because you want to carry on and see what these guys could do over that period of time.
64.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? If they want to test themselves over that length, they've got to get themselves to the World Match Play, the World Championships, all that kind of stuff. You've got to win at this
98.
format a lot to test yourself on those longer ones. But I think you're right. Certain games you just do not want to end.
81.
Well, 72 checkout. This was what he took out in leg 2 with no bother at all, and there's no pressure this time from Dirk van Duijvenbode. 163 is a bogey number. Double top. Yeah, just took a little moment there, K.Anderson, but it's a 15 darter. We've got a level game again.
Kyle's darts do go in very upright, but they do go in with one heck of a thump. It gives them a real thrust as they're thrown. Obviously, I spoke to him earlier this season about the more side-on address position. That's something that's just worked into his game after a little bit of time off from practice. And I tell you what, since he started doing that, he's playing better.
Yeah, I mean, it's not had any negative effect, has it? And the darts seem to be going in straight. And more importantly for K.Anderson, they're going where he wants them to more regularly. So it was a completely inadvertent thing. He hadn't meant to do that, but it's working for him.
140.
But he needs to find a break of throw. And he's only got 2 legs in which to do it. He's got a hold in between.
That second dart is starting to just come down a little bit, and he's having a word with it. And when he does, he's adjusting brilliantly.
100.
This is a very, very big leg. A great opportunity for Kyle. If he can put a big hole in this or take it out, he forces Van Duijvenbode to potentially take out a double 19 or a double top
180.
to save his skin. Tops it'll be. Tops it is.
90.
Now, because Kyle has put that ton in, he should get a dart a double to break.
He should do. 16s he's looking at. Well, it's the 8, single 16. We'll leave him tops. 1 dart at it. And 1 dart is all he needs. It's bang in the middle of the bed. That is the break that K.Anderson needed. 5-4 to the original. A hold of throw away from a place in the second round. Dirk van Duijvenbode.
Game on.
It must be so frustrating to be Dirk because we've seen him a number of times on European Tour stages. He's qualified time and again for these, and sometimes he's not played anywhere near his capacity. He's won the odd game here and there, but it seems that even when he goes and chucks in a ton plus average, as he's doing right now against K.Anderson, whoever he's up against just goes and plays better. It was that incredible game where he hit, what was it, 7, 8 180s against Vincent van der Voort, and he messed it up, to paraphrase Vincent.
42.
It's a compliment to Dirk van Duijvenbode that people want to turn up and beat him because they know how dangerous he can be.
45.
K.Anderson has got this game by the scruff of the neck. It's up to him now to finish the job. Oh, 2 wire jobs
94.
and a brilliant adjustment. That was needed too.
60.
Oh, that's such a frustrating visit. You can see the trudge to the board for Dirk van Duijvenbode, missing just on the top wire with his first 2. And comes away with just the 60. And K.Anderson piles in a ton 40 to leave a 2-darter. And van Duijvenbode, doesn't matter what he does here, it might be over.
140.
Ooh, bit of aggression. He thinks he's still in it.
Well, he's not giving up. He's given himself a chance, just in case Kyle doesn't take this. But he's one double away from beating Van Duijvenbode in a brilliant match.
Shot.
What a performance from the original.
K.Anderson.
That's a game that I would happily watch over and over again. Great respect from both of them. That was sensational, Dan.
100.85 for Van Duijvenbode, 101.44 for K.Anderson. But it does not tell the whole story. 6 maximums. K.Anderson, his finishing came together when he really needed it to. Some sumptuous stuff from the original. And once again, that is his 4th consecutive Euro Tour game where he's averaged at least a ton. It does not surprise you. Can he surprise Kim Huybrechts, the number 8 seed in the next round? Van Duijvenbode bids farewell to Mannheim. A solid display, an impressive display from Van Duijvenbode, but he has run into a man in red-hot form, and a man who could yet go and claim his first Euro Tour title this weekend in Mannheim. Let's hear from K.Anderson, then we've got one more game for you as Schindler takes on McGowan.
It was good quality.
Yeah, no, I felt I was watching Dirk play in the back, and he was throwing pretty well, and I knew I had to play well against Dirk, and there was a couple of shots that we both missed doubles, but that's a game of darts, and I'm through next round.
How was the World Series at home? You won your first TV tournament. Congratulations to that.
Thank you, thank you. No, it's good to be home, seen family, seen mum, dad, everybody else, and just had a good old time being home and just relaxed.
So, good to see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. K.Anderson. Hat den Trip bei der World Series in der Heimat natürlich genossen, die Familie gesehen. Ist ja auch Papa eines Kindes. Aber er versucht